Hello, everyone, and welcome to the preview show delivered by FedEx. I'm your host, Jonathan Merryman, joined by Marty Snider filling in for Chris Rice this weekend.
Yeah,
I'm filling in for Marty. Yeah, so
Swap.
A lot happened this weekend. Let's start with Matt Kenseth. One of the old guys, as he put it, gets a win on his way out, doesn't know his future next year. How big is that personally for Matt Kenseth?
Well, he and Dale Earnhardt Jr., the old guys, as Junior said after the race, right? That was a win for the old guys, but it's huge, obviously, for Matt Kenseth on a personal level to be able to do it, to be able to go out and win like that on a weekend when, after he finally acknowledged, hey, this is probably it, is very significant for Matt.
All right, Marty, let's talk about that fourth and final playoff spot. Chase Elliott racing Denny Hamlin hard. They make contact. Brad Keselowski ends up getting in after Matt Kenseth passes Chase Elliott to win that race. But what about the contact between the 24 and the 11? Is that clean? Is it not clean? Is it racing, or is it more?
Well, I think Chase was pretty clear after the race to say, hey, listen, I'm going to race people the way they race me, and that's what happened at Martinsville. And who set this table really is Denny Hamlin at Martinsville. So is it payback? Probably a little bit of payback, yes.
All right, let's move on to the Final Four at Homestead-Miami Speedway this weekend. Let's spotlight each one of these guys that are locked into this race, starting with Martin Truex Jr. What are the 78 team's chances?
Well, obviously they think they're the favorites. I asked Martin that after the race, and he said, yeah, we're absolutely the favorites. Clearly they're the best at mile-and-a-half racetracks. Can Martin run the wall effectively? I think that's one of their weak spots, and I think that's one thing that maybe they're not going to be as strong at this mile-and-a-half as they have been at all the mile-and-a-halfs this year, because, you know, Miami is such a different racetrack. You have to run the top of the racetrack, and if there is one weak spot in the 78's game, maybe it is running the top of the racetrack like that.
All right, what about Kyle Busch and Adam Stevens? 5 wins on the year, one in this format in 2015. The 18 looks like he's going to be pretty strong this weekend as well.
Well, and I love what Kyle told us on NASCAR America. We're the underdogs. I mean, really? I mean, they can't be the underdogs in this Final Four. But I think Kyle Busch and his team are going to be very strong and very tough to beat. You know, Kyle told me, listen, half of our conversations have been about Miami. Once we were in, we kind of focused on that. So it's going to be interesting to see how the 18 runs this weekend.
All right, another guy that's been there in this format is Kevin Harvick. He's got Rodney Childers on the box. That is a huge benefit for Kevin. So what can the 4-car do this weekend?
Well, to me, he's the most interesting guy in this whole thing because they have come on, they've run so much better. They're finally getting the cars where Kevin needs them. Finally figured out this Ford body. You know, it's interesting to me because Kevin Harvick loves to play these head games. He loves it when he can play those games. All of these teams have been here, done that. So I don't know if the head games are going to work for Kevin Harvick this time, but I don't think they need to. I think they might have the speed to do it.
All right, if there was ever a guy playing with house money, it is Brad Keselowski.
Right.
He lucked out at the end of that race in Phoenix, ended up advancing on to make the playoff final at Homestead-Miami Speedway. So they haven't been that fast on mile-and-a-halfs as of late. So do him and Paul Wolfe just swing for the fence when they get there? What's their plan?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're certainly going to swing for the fences, you know, and I had his pits on Sunday at Phoenix, and I can tell you from much of that race, they were pretty confident they weren't going to make it in, and Brad admitted that after the race. I was pretty sure that we were going to be out. They have really leaned on their teammate Ryan Blaney a lot in these playoffs. For every mile-and-a-half track, they've kind of gone towards his race setup. I think that's something you're going to see them do this weekend. You never know what can happen. If they can kind of hang around like they did at Phoenix, they could wind up being champions again.
All right, now it's time to put our money where our mouth is. Who wins the race? Who wins the title?
I think this year the guy who wins the race is not the guy who wins the championship. I think Kyle Larson winds up winning this race this year. I think they've been so good with speed, period, here in the playoffs overall, but he loves running the wall, which you'll have to do at Miami. I think he's going to be very fast. In terms of winning the championship, I'm going to go with Kevin Harvick. I think Kevin Harvick has the speed to do it. I think he has the savvy to do it. I'm going to go with Kevin Harvick to win the title this year.
Kevin Harvick is definitely the dark horse that makes the most sense, but we've kind of been going back and forth about my pick over the past couple of weeks. I think Martin Truex Jr. is going to win the race. I think he's going to win the title. I think Cole Pern unloads a fast race car. They pull up their bootstraps, so to speak, and they go out there and win that race.
I said after his last win, that'll be his last win of the year, so I'm going to stick with that. I think they're going to be strong at Miami, no doubt about it, but I just think Kevin Harvick, I just have a feeling about this 14.
This weekend, you can catch the race on NBC. It's the Ford EcoBoost 400 at Homestead-Miami Speedway this Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, that is on NBC. You can catch Marty calling that race this weekend, and it should be a good one, and we'll get to put an exclamation point on the 2017 season. Marty, it's been fun all year long. We appreciate you guys watching. Be sure to catch that on NBC, and make sure you log on to NASCAR.com for everything you don't catch on TV.